tax still chase up. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is just a recording, so I just need to repeat a little bit on the topic that we have today, the harmonizing of tax and zakah. So again, number one is actually concept of differences, legal and regulatory framework. Number three, actually compliant. Number four, harmonizations of rates and basis. Of course, on rates of zakah, of taxes, there are differences. In fact, on our we have heard about 12% PPN. Yeah, so it's actually on goods tax or VAT tax. So it's actually on something that we have to look into some differences in regulation in different countries. So we'll see how the speakers will then be speaking. And then we see the administration and collections, how people collect zakah, different from one place to another place, from country to another country. Of course, due to digitalizations, now, the collections purposes conducted actually through online. So even tax as well, we have single identity, single what we call it, a single like a platform to actually to get to know and to report our tax. And then of course the international diversity, we'll see how Dr. Endang Jamali as well will speak on that, and on also Dr. Shahizan M.Noh also will speak on that part, on the tax and zakah at the same time. And we'll see on the fiscal policy implications. As we are aware, this 7 point that I mentioned just now is actually on the how the fiscal policy implications. We know that we are aware that Aceh province in Indonesia has applied Islamic law or Qanun, and then it's one of the Qanun specify that zakah should be considered as a tax payment. But according to the fiscal policy agreement between Aceh and the whole
Tapi
Indonesia,
sekarang diarahin sih Pak diarahin sama
actually,
Bang Mandiri kalau misalnya ada nasabah BSI.
Yeah, so actually the
Excuse me, madam, please unmute yourself first, madam.
Okay, so in Aceh, although the zakat should be treated the same like tax payment, but it has not been come into reality. So tax still have to be paid, but zakat can be deductions of the taxable income, but not a tax should be paid. Yeah, so it's the same with other regulations, yeah, in other provinces. Of course, number 8 actually on the beneficiaries. I will look at the tax beneficiaries for everybody, but for zakah beneficiaries or recipients are actually stipulated in At-Taubah verse 60, where it is mentioned that it is for 8 asnaf or 8 mustahik. And number 9 is actually on the Shariah compliant part of it, whether tax is actually Shariah compliant and what are the taxes that are actually considered as Shariah compliance. So this is still under ongoing debates. And of course, we would like to see on how the world tax and zakah actually playing the rules. Of course, in the tax world, they have also tax harmonizing world or international tax harmonizing. So I've attended a tax forum in Kuala Lumpur recently, and Dr. Shahizan is also one of the experts on tax and zakah to speak in a international forum like that. Also, they've been speaking on how taxations actually has been an issue in all countries. And also in a World Wakaf and Zakat Forum, we also have been talking about it. So Madam just now attended the World Wakaf and Zakat Forum at GCC during ISEF program last month in October. So there are lots of experts coming together to discuss on Wakaf and Zakat forum and the Zakat Wakaf and Zakat platform and promotion, literacy, etc. Health in actually in Indonesia, but also for the benefit for other countries. So again, zakah is very clear, and tax is also very clear on how actually we should actually deal with that. I would like to close with a verse that is to encourage everyone to fulfill the zakah, but do not look at the first meaning of the ayah, but look at the last meaning of the ayah. It is very, very helpful for us to understand why zakah is actually very compulsory, is actually obligatory for everybody to fulfill. So this is actually the ayah on Surah At-Tawbah 103. So if we look at Surah At-Tawbah 103, basically is actually the Surah number 9, yeah, but the ayah we go to ayah 103, yeah, surah number 9, 103. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim, khus min amwalihim shadaqatan. So the first ayah is actually the first meaning, the first part is actually to take the wealth of the people as a charity or sadaqah. It means also the obligatory sadaqah, which is zakat. Yeah. And then tutahhiruhum wa tuzakkihim biha, because it purifies and to increase their wealth, yeah, the rest of their wealth. Wa tuzakkihim biha, yeah, and also to actually increase. And then this is the most important part of it, yeah. Wa sholli alaihim inna salataka sakanun lahum. So this is actually something that make people be feeling peaceful. Why? Because the meaning is actually Allah instructs Rasulullah SAW and everyone who is amil, those who collect zakah, to pray. To pray, why? Because the prayer is actually a peaceful message for them, in order for them to actually accept it and be happy and also be thankful to what Allah has already given to them, right? So at the end of the ayah is also very interesting. Wallahu sami'un alim. So Allah is hearing and knowing. So don't worry. Don't worry about all this obligation, because Allah knows. Allah knows about what actually the rules that He gave us. You know, He gives us through the Al-Quran and also Sunnah is actually the ruling that is benefiting everyone, not benefiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but benefiting to humankind, to the mankind. So that is actually my last note. Thank you again, Mr. Agus Helly, for being a moderator of the session, and also thank you for the speakers. We have two great speakers today, Dr. Shahizan and Dr. Endang, and also thank you to AFSI, Asosiasi Fintech Syariah Indonesia, that has been a great collaborator for this program. And also would like to thank you also all the participants and also the organizing committees behind this, Adinda and Nadia, Dimas, also Fakhrul, also with the leadership of Mbak Mahaning and also Teh Rida. Thank you again. Thank you all the members of IFPA, and please join IFPA for being a great financial planner, Islamic financial planner, insyaAllah. Wallahu a'lam bishawab wa alfu minkum billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Madam Annie, for setting up the tones for this crucial discussion today. Today, we are privileged to have special speakers joining us today. Number one is Dr. Endang Jamali. Welcome, Dr. Endang. He is a lecturer Universitas Islam Negeri Sunan Gunung Djati, Bandung. He is an expert in his field, Islamic Economic and Business. Now he is head of Amanah Capital Finance Consultants. Welcome, Dr. Endang. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Endang. The stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Masya Allah.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Mr. Agus Helly, for joining us. Thank you for your time.
Oke, silakan. Thank you.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi waqafa wa salatu ala nabiyil mustafa wa ala alihi man ihtada. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'du. Firstly, I would like to thank to Madam Ani, she's my professor and also my teacher. And I would like to thank Mr. Agus Helly, Mr. Moderator, this time, and also Mr. Dr. Shahizan. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to thank to all participants today with Zoom. Yeah, and this is my big pleasure to join with you all in this time. And of course, we will discuss the topic around the zakat and the word and also the text. So may I say my PPT? I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. The first, we know zakat is what said Madam Ani. Zakat is very important for us because 3 points. The first, zakat, we are the Muslim, so zakat is mandatory from the Al-Quran to us. Yeah. And the second is zakat, also the important instrument of the public finance. We note like Kitab al-Amwal, Abu Ubaid, and also Abu Yusuf al-Farraj, also talking about the zakat is the important thing to the public finance. And the third, zakat is the pillar of Islamic economic, we know. So the zakat is, in the Al-Quran, zakat is purification, yeah, and also means growth, yeah. And also zakat an obligatory donation. So zakat also is the third of the 5 main pillars of Islam. Yeah. And zakat is only paid out once a person wealth reaches the nisab. Yeah. So we can pay the zakat if we until the nisab. And nisab is what we call batasan, yeah, in bahasa. So we cannot pay the zakat without the nisab. So also zakat is wealth that's eligible for zakat include gold, yeah, silver, agriculture product, and livestock, business asset, bank account, financial asset, and rentable building. So this is the what we can pay the zakat. And zakat is set 2.5% all of the productive wealth, and it's meant to be distributed to 8 categories. Yeah, asnaf, yeah, in bahasa Arab asnaf. And bahasa Indonesia also asnaf, ya, we call asnaf. Surat Al-Quran At-Taubah, ya, ayat 61, innama shadaqatu lil fuqara wal masakin and others. Yeah. So zakat in the Judaism and Christianity, zakat is in Judaism before Christ, yeah, during the Homeric age, 700 before century. The contribution of charity was an important element within Greek culture. The enjoyment for the contribution of charity was clearly mentioned in Exodus, and also according to Old Testament, Israelites are required to contribute a 10th part of the crop, yeah, and of the land, of herd and cattle to charity. This is Leviticus 27, yeah. And also zakat in Christianity. In the early Christian church is described in Act of the New Testament. There were a group of individuals who had all things in common. Additional detail of this correct concept is outlined at M.Acc. 432. So this is the zakat from the history, and also the religion of Judaism and also Christianity. Zakat in Islam, Madam Ani said zakat during the Al-Quran also we can see Al-Quran maybe 10 ayat, 10 surah in Al-Quran talking about the zakat. We can see Al-Quran, Surah Al-A'raf, Al-An'am, number 6, number 7, also number 19. The all word mean zakat is sadaqah here. And also in all surah this talking about the zakat with the word haqqahu, khud min amwalihim sadaqah. Au wa'atu haqqahu yawma hasadih. So zakat in all the surah with similarly with the word haqqah, sadaqah in and also at-tahura, at-tuhur, or zakah. Let we see overview of the zakat practices around the world. So this is maybe there is 4 topics, and the first topic is management and institutional arrangement. So we can see management and institutional arrangement. There is subtopic, state lead versus charity lead, and also centralized versus decentralized, integration with fatwa making body, linkage to social protection system. And also from the financing perspective, there is a subtopic like the voluntary versus compulsory, types of zakatable wealth, and also incentive to pay zakat. And the eligibility criteria perspective, there is subtopic, zakat beneficiary category interpretation, additional eligibility criteria, and also role of local committees. Types of benefit, there is social assistance versus microfinancing, transparency, accountability, and perceptions. Subtopics as talking about the monitoring and evaluation and grievance redress mechanism, transparency for payers, also perception of zakat among both recipient and payers. Let's be talking about the modality of zakat collection by country. So there is 4 topics regarding this matter. The first is state led. The countries who we country leaders the zakat, like Algeria, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Jordan, Kuwait, Libya, Malaysia, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, State of Palestine, Sudan, and UAE. And also there is charity lead, like India, Lebanon, Morocco, South Africa, Tunisia. Another mix between the state lead and charity lead, like Nigeria, and taken out by military, in like the Somalia and Yemen. So the state lead zakat collection process in Kuwait. We're talking about the Kuwait, who was collected zakat with the country, the negara. The first zakat payers, there's individuals and also companies. Individuals zakat collection voluntary. We in the Kuwait there is zakat house, and to who the zakat distributed eligible beneficiaries, and also zakat payers from the companies, the obligatory zakat collection by the companies, and zakat distribution state budget. This is regulation of charity zakat collection for state lead zakat established in Indonesia. So we can see in Indonesia, zakat collection period to state-led establishment, private zakat amil, charities, and sometimes the people pay to the mosque, or to madrasah, or to the lembaga special, Also establishment of zakat, of state-led zakat, we have Bajnas, Badan Amil Zakat, Badan Nasional, Badan Amil Nasional Zakat Indonesia, We have also charity zakat collection for state-led establishment. Private zakat amil must obtain a permit and report to zakat, like LAZ in kabupaten, district, and also in the region, in the province. And also we have the private collector of zakat, like DT, and also DD, and another else. In Egypt, charities and association with fatwas from the Azhar. And also in the Egypt have the zakat house, and charity zakat collection in Egypt, charities and association with fatwa from the Azhar. We know the Mesir, Egypt, Azhar is the center of fatwa, regarding all the religion fatwas. Number 4 is mode of operation of zakat funds by country. There is centralized, hybrid, and decentralized. Centralized, Egypt, Kuwait, hybrid, Algeria, Pakistan, Sudan, Jordan, Libya, Oman, and decentralized, Nigeria, Malaysia. It means centralized is zakat took from the people, or the rich man, by the country, by the central, and also hybrid, like Algeria, Pakistan, maybe zakat took from the people, and the private collector zakat, and to report the country. And decentralized, Nigeria and Malaysia. This is the mode of operation zakat Pakistan. We can see how the central zakat account at Bank of Pakistan, compulsory zakat to bank. The people can pay the zakat to the bank. Compulsory zakat distributed to provincial zakat funds by population size of province. So the distribution from the country to the region, and the province like Punjab, Sindh, Khyber, kemudian Balochistan, distributed to the district. We call kabupaten in Indonesia, or kecamatan, also a local. So this is the kind of operation Pakistani zakat fund. And this is the type of integration of zakat fund with fatwa making bodies by country. We know the Indonesia. I think there is no specially fatwa regarding the what we call the integration, integration between fatwa from the SN to zakat, in Indonesia. I saw the fatwa MUI from in Indonesia regarding to the zakat government, what we call government staff, PNS. There is a fatwa from the MUI, but regarding the body of zakat fund, I think there is no, until now, I not found the fatwa regarding this matter. So the integrated by the fatwa, like Djibouti, also Sudan, and there is separated, like Kuwait, Oman, Libya, Jordan, Sudan, and Singapore. And this is the financing perspective. There is voluntary versus compulsory. And also there's types of wealth label of zakat and incentive to pay zakat. We know regarding the tips of wealth label for zakat, Yusuf Qardawi, Sheikh Yusuf Qardawi has write the kitab we call Fiqh Zakat, was increase of the types of wealth label zakat. He called the kaidah tawsi' wi'au zakat, yeah, to make the more varieties of the label zakat, yeah. So this is we can see zakat financing perspective, yeah, voluntary versus compulsory. Most countries with state-led zakat payment mechanism have made zakat voluntary as opposed compulsory. Yeah, also among the few countries where zakat is compulsory, only two, yeah, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, involve the Ministry of Finance in zakat collection process. We know in Saudi Arabia, also in Kuwait, the zakat organizing by Minister of Finance. And when MBS, yeah, Muhammad bin Salman be the Putra Mahkota, Waliul Ahad. So there's regulation for this tax. Yeah, the first maybe before the 10 years, Saudi Arabia there's no tax. But after MBS was the Putra Mahkota, Waliul Ahad, there is what we call the mix with regulation zakat with the tax. So in Saudi now have the tax, yeah. Before it's no tax in Saudi. And the second tips of wealth label for zakat, yeah. The type of wealth label for zakat is mostly the same across most countries, with a few exceptions extending the obligation to companies, such as Pakistan, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. Most countries announce the nisab. Nisab we call amount of wealth after which zakat has to be paid. Yeah, takaran. Yeah, in bahasa we call takaran or nisab. Every year, either through the zakat fund, the fatwa making institution, or the equivalent of Ministry of Religious Affairs. In Indonesia, we have nisab was decided from the Basnas and also from the Kementerian Agama, yeah, the Ministry of Religious Affairs. And the third incentive to pay zakat. Tax incentive to pay zakat are provided by countries with voluntary same and those with compulsory arms. In the form of deduction of zakat paid from tax payable, such as in Malaysia, or mostly as deduction from zakat paid from taxable earning, as in Pakistan and Sudan. In Indonesia, there is no decision for the not absolutely, I mean not absolutely decision for the deduction of tax who will pay zakat. Yeah, and this is zakat compulsory. Yeah, Malaysia, Sudan, Pakistan, Nigeria, deterrence. We have deterrence incentive, proportion, and also infrastructure. In Malaysia, several states have the Shariah criminal offense enactment, which are based on the above principle. Zakat must be paid to the agencies of State Islamic Religious Council. Payment of zakat to any other body is illegal and punishable. In Sudan, Sudan's law does not impose any physical penalty on the defaulters, but provide forced recovery of due and unpaid zakat. In Pakistan, provide legal way to evade zakat while making payment compulsory. First, it leaves our zakat on non-financial asset and income from voluntary zakat payment. The second, it makes zakat deduction on financial asset at source compulsory but with sufficient. Yeah. We can see in Indonesia, incentiving zakat payment. In Indonesia, Article 22 of the Act provide for tax relief to the muzaki by treating zakat paid to Basnas as deductible to taxable income. Further, Basnas or LAS provide receipt of zakat payment to each muzaki that then is used to deduct zakat from taxable income. In Indonesia zakat law, we have Article 22 said the deductible to taxable income who paid the zakat. In Malaysia, In Malaysia, this is Malaysia also already, yeah. Okay. And this is the zakat collection or distribution as percentage of gross domestic product in selected countries by payment mechanism. Ini in 2080, yeah. So this paper I took from the international policy for growth, yeah. Maya Hamad, who's write this paper. So in Indonesia, we in Kuwait company zakat, we can see the 2.31% distribution GDP current, and the what we call the blue one is collection GDP current LCU. Type of incentive to pay zakat by country: deduction from tax payable, Malaysia; deduction from taxable earning, Jordan, Pakistan, Sudan, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Singapore. This is the fatwa interpretation of Quran stipulating zakat categories in the different countries. So this is the explaining about the asnaf, yeah, we call asnaf, kategori poor, needy, kemudian new convert to Islam, ya, slave and captives, and deputy, kemudian stranded traveler, zakat administrators, and then for the sake of Allah. So this is asnaf interpretation by Al-Quran, and the several countries have explanation about this. But in Indonesia, asnaf was distributed conditional, yeah, conditional. Like Pakistan, Sudan, Jordan have the explanation for the who is the poor. Yeah, Pakistan include Muslim citizen living below the poverty line. Sudan includes students who fail to meet their school fees and heads of household who don't have the income. Egypt, like the Egypt, we call Jordan. Yeah, Jordan include poor people with mental and physical disabilities who require rehabilitation. Fisabilillah, for the sake of Allah. And Egypt include teacher training expenses as education as public good. Singapore include any service for the public good such as building mosques. Yeah. In Indonesia, there's also have the explanation about asnaf, but not absolutely like the another countries. Mechanism of providing zakat by country, yeah, as a social assistance, like Singapore and Oman, as a microfinancing mechanism, and also both, yeah, Egypt, Jordan, Indonesia, Kuwait, Libya, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and Sudan. This is the type of transparency provided by zakat funds by country. Financial, Indonesia, Jordan, Singapore, Malaysia. Managerial, Indonesia, Jordan, Singapore, Malaysia. Pragmatic, Indonesia, Jordan, Singapore, Malaysia. Zakat and its calculation. Indonesia is a country with a large number of Muslim population. So this is the what we call calculation, the zakat, yeah, like in Indonesia, the payment of zakat and tax is carried out separately and in different ways because zakat is the obligation of a Muslim to Allah, especially for assets that have reached the nisab and have reached to the haul, while taxes are the obligation of citizens to their country. So zakat institution in Indonesia refer to M.Acc 109, yeah, for financial reporting mechanism. This is the one of sample calculator in Indonesia, yeah, to zakat, infak, and sedekah. And in Malaysia, zakat issues are managed by Zakat Collection Center (PPZ). Yeah. The corporate system where the collection and distribution of zakat is managed by a corporation. The second, the semi-corporate system, where the company only manages the zakat collection process, where the distribution process is handled by the state government. Third, full management by the state government or Islamic Religious Council, which is applied to other areas. Zakat institution in Malaysia refer to non-profit organizational or CRCS, financial reporting for financial reporting mechanism. Zakat calculator in Malaysia, this is the application, the platform for the Zakat Selangor. And this is the Sudan. We know Sudan is the country until now is there's no like as the condition. There is Sudan now is become the one of country there is war. So this is zakat law since 1984. Said the zakat as zakat asset collection in the country Sudan under one roof, with the tax collection. This zakat in Sudan there's Diwan, Diwan delegate the distribution of zakat to the Ministry of Finance and National Economic Planning. The distribution of zakat previously was only given to 5 asnaf, fakir, poor, amil, zakat, ibnu sabil, and gharib. Jordan, Jordan have sunduk zakat. Jordanian sunduk zakat is operation utilizes working group, spread through the Lajnah zakat. There's Lajnah zakat commission, zakat commission, and also there's sunduk zakat. Has the duty hours to monitor condition of property in Jordanian society, and also establishing health clinic and medical center, establish unemployment, establish investment project, establish government center. Zakat calculation in Jordan, we have 2.5% of the value of net financial asset owned by companies and individuals for the for a full years. So and also in Jordan is required that value of the net financial asset by the individual or the company exceed the minimum compulsory payment zakat is 12,000 Jordanian dinar. Zakat is calculated annually in Jordan. Saudi Arabia, this interesting. Saudi Arabia, application of zakat Saudi Arabia based on state legislation began 1951. And the new one for the what we call the mix from the zakat and tax at before 5 years. There's no written here the regulation, but the mix about the zakat and tax in Saudi, because the before MBS was the Putra Mahkota, there is no tax in Saudi Arabia, only zakat. Zakat calculation in Saudi Arabia, asset value, kemudian zakat 2.5%, and in Saudi Arabia distribution not just to the Saudi Arabia people and also to the abroad. Pakistan distributed to 8 asnaf, like before, we have the category from the poor and also the Fisabilillah, Gorimin, and the others. Tunisia, zakat of fat in Tunisia governed by law. This is the zakat law in Tunisia, 2080, number 56 on June, and also zakat of fund Tunisia calculated 2.5 of the net value of the fund on the full years, and also the percentage of minimum zakat due is 10 dinars in Tunis. Individual and companies must pay the annual zakat to the competent authorities in Tunisia. So the Tunisia led by the countries, and also in Morocco. The same, the percentage according to 0.5%, and also in Morocco, based information from the Ministry of Religious Affairs, yeah, in Morocco. Algeria, zakat is calculated on financial asset as follows. Cash and bank deposit, 2.5% of the total value. Shares and investment shares, yeah, saham, stock, yeah, 2.5% of the total value. Real estate and lands, yeah, 2.5% of the total value. And also share in investment fund, yeah, at the same 2.5%. It should be noted that zakat is calculated on the financial asset that you own for a full years. Zakat is paid to the poor and needy through approved charitable institution. So in the Algeria has the charitable institution for the distribution of zakat. And Egypt also the net percentage is 2.5, yeah. Cash and bank deposit, investment in the stock exchange, real estate and lands, contract and securities, yeah. And Muslim in Egypt must pay zakat once a year, and they must have acquired a set amount of asset before they are obligated to pay zakat. Zakat and global issues. So we can see in this diagram, yeah, I was took from the ISDB program, yeah, zakat, AEPP, impact, investing, and SDGs. So we can see this the productive, yeah, developing program, value, capacity building, and also zakat distribution partnership. So we make what we call the mustahik increase to the muzaki, yeah, and also AEPP, yeah, social facilities, yeah, investment and business in what we call the distribution to the maslahah, yeah. So the integrated to the SDGs program, the goal is no poverty, no hunger, good health, and also quality education, reducing inequality. So the zakat give the impact to the SDGs program, yeah, like we see. Alignment with global issues, zakat and SDGs, zakat and financial inclusion, and also zakat and macro-prudential policy. This is no poverty, daruriyah, zero hunger, also daruriyah, yeah, and affordable and clean energy, hajiyah, yeah, and also industry, innovation, infrastructure, hajiyah, and the last is zakat, sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals, no one left behind at this point, yeah. And also we have in the right maqasid Shariah, Mataril Alamin, we have the 5 point, the important thing, yeah. Hibdul Din, Hibdul Nafas, Hibdul Akal, and also Hibdul Nasl, Hibdul Mal. So it affect to the poverty elevation, yeah. Economy perspective will work, yeah, and the indicators of capital, productivity, and market, yeah, and also advocation or da'wah, assistancy, networking, capacity building, yeah, and also the social access, yeah, social will be affected to the education, health, emergency, and disaster response. So this is my PPT for the zakat around the world. Thank you very much, and the time for the moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Endang. This is really a good presentation. Your insight about history of zakat and zakat around the world is really amazing. I didn't know that zakat, also there's zakat in Judaism and Christian. I didn't know that. So this is very insightful. And zakat is aligned with SDGs focus, yeah. Okay, everyone, can we have a picture together before we continue to the second speakers, please? Can you please open your camera? Okay. Siap-siap ya. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next monitor. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Now we have Dr. Shahizan, my guru. He is a lecturer in University Kuala Lumpur, and he is specialized in accounting and wealth management. Apa kabar, Pak Guru, Dr. Shahizan?
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih.
Alhamdulillah. It's good to see you again. Yeah, Dr. Shahizan is a Malaysian Association of Tax Accountant Heads and of Wealth Management Technical Committee until today. Yeah. Okay, without further ado, Dr. Shahizan, the stage is yours.
Okey, terima kasih Pak Agus Helly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ibu Madam Prof Dr. Murniati, Pak Agus Helly, fellow colleagues, Pak Dr. Endang, IFPA committee, and fellow participants today. Thank you for having me. All right, this is my second time together with the series of IFPA webinar. I believe this will be the last installment for this year, I believe, because next month will be holiday months for everyone, most of us. All right.
Yeah, it's not last one because we're going to have offline on 13 December.
Oh yeah, okay. So this should
Please
be
come
the
to Jakarta.
second last installment lah.
Yes.
All right. Very good presentation by our Pak Dr. Endang just now. He briefed about zakat practicing not only in Indonesia, also involve other countries like Malaysia and few countries in Africa. Let me go straight to the context. Can you see my presentation? Yes.
Still running. Okay, this is good.
All right. Okay, so I will deep dive more on zakat and taxation in relation to financial planning and wealth management. Based on what our Professor Dr. Murniati and Pak Endang discussed just now, we know that a little bit about the importance of zakat and importance of taxation in our daily life. But somehow or other, perhaps some of us may not understand the relationship between zakat and taxation, why both components are very important in financial planning and wealth management, especially for the Muslim. Okay. So I will not discuss much on the definition of zakat and definition of taxation. Let me go straight to the important parts of zakat. So zakat, as mentioned earlier by our presenter, is an obligatory payment, which I want to highlight. The payment come from the four specifics, only from specific wealth. We have specific terms when dealing with zakat, and we have specific recipients. As mentioned earlier by Pak Dr. Endang, only 8 recipients for zakat, and definitely based on specific rates. Zakat have its own calculation, its own mathematics, so we cannot simply pay zakat without having good understanding on how it be calculated, what types of assets subjected to zakat. So it's unlike taxation. So zakat has its own mechanism. So that's very important for us to differentiate between zakat with other elements of charity, the likes of infaq, the likes of sadaqah or sadaqah to jariyah. All right. So it's alms giving. So all of us already know that one of the pillar, majority said that zakat comes number 3. There are also school of thought say zakat come in 4th. Okay, it doesn't matter. But zakat and salah is repeatedly we can found it in Al-Quran in various surah. Shows that zakat is very important. So, but why some of the Muslim, perhaps majority of Muslim, still underpay zakat? Whether they do not want to pay zakat, okay, or they take for granted, because we have another components called taxation. Okay, unlike zakat, taxation is another mandatory payment obliged to all call the community for each country, like Indonesia or Malaysia or other countries. So imposed by the government, right? So tax not only for individual, also apply for business entities and other fund public entities. So it depends on how the country or the government structure the tax for the uh, people. Uh, Normally we divide tax into two categories, whether under direct tax or indirect tax. When relate to individual, so it falls under direct tax, called individual taxes, right? So we have two types of issues here, whether we want to avoid tax or we want to evade tax, right? From the financial planning perspective, we can avoid tax by maximizing whatever relief provided by the government, right? But however, if we underdeclare our income in order to pay low tax, that's we call evading the tax. Okay, so evading tax is considered criminal in some countries. I believe in Indonesia also, like Ibu Prof Dr. Mandi said, so they will chase us, although we already passed away yesterday. Okay. Why? Because the penalty, if not involve monetary penalty, we may go to the jail. Okay. If we don't pay the tax amount that we should pay. Right. In Malaysia, if I can share, the penalty, we may be jailed up to 6 months if you don't pay tax. Okay, but if you don't pay zakat, nobody will chase you. Right. That's the context that we have to understand. Right. But we already know that between zakat and tax, zakat is more important for Muslim. Is our debt to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, to the Almighty, right? However, tax also a debt, but only for people. In our context, the government. Let me discuss a little bit about the difference between zakat and tax from the context of financial planning and wealth management. All right. We already know zakat is a form of Muslim obedience to religious teachings. Right. So yes, other religion also have similar obligatory payment like zakat, but not similar to zakat. Okay. So for Christianity or Judaism, they may ask their people to pay 1/10 from the income. All right, but they will not be considered sinful if they don't oblige to the payment. However, for Muslim, if we are subjected to zakat and we don't pay as demanded by our religion, so it considered that. All right. So it also involve our legacy or our estate later on, because as we all know that whatever estate that we leave behind after our death must deduct whatever liabilities, which also include zakat. Okay. So That's number one. Number two, you move further, the rate of zakat has been determined clearly in the Quran or Hadith. Okay, so we have different type of zakat, but in our context, today we are focusing more on financial assets. Okay, we are focusing more on investment. We are focusing more on savings. We don't seldomly we discuss about zakat on agriculture. Seldomly we discuss about zakat on livestock. All right, because nowadays agriculture, livestock is under business, so we'll charge a zakat on the business entities. Okay, unlike taxation, okay, the rate of tax will be determined by the government itself. So we can see different tax rate from one country to another. It depends on the regime itself. So, if I can share, in Malaysia, we have at least two tax regime in terms of the rate, depending on whether you are tax resident or tax non-resident. All right, so you can enjoy from 11% up to 26 or 28% of tax if you are tax resident. However, if you are non-tax resident, so you will not enjoy the fluctuability of the rates except for the maximum rate. Okay, we discuss about the recipients of zakat. So obviously, zakats only be given from a Muslim to a Muslim. Okay. Whereby for taxes is beyond Muslim. So the beneficiaries is for the other community, for other peoples. Uh, so it involve the development for that particular country. For example, if we pay less tax, that means the country, the government has less money to rebuild, to develop the country. And taxes are used for state or government expenditures for economic and other social political goals to be achieved by the government. And at the same time, zakat will be distributed to those identified Muslim, which we'll discuss later on, and who are entitled to receive zakat. So we have to be clear, right? For other charitable donation like sadaqah, infaq, sadaqah to jariyah, right? So the recipients could be any of the Muslims, perhaps beyond Muslim. But however, for zakat, whatever collection managed been collected from the zakat payers only meant for the specific recipients, right? So Pak Dr. Endang already briefed some part of it. So perhaps we can move further in terms of understanding who are the recipients of zakat. All right. There will be 8 recipients of zakat. So we divide the 8 recipients into 2 main categories. The 4 first recipients consider muqaddam recipients. All right. The second 4 recipients consider muakkar recipients. Okay. If we move to the number 1 and number 2 is the fakir and miskin. All right. So I recall, all right, in Indonesia, they call nisab as what? Takaran, yeah, Pak Dr. Endang. All right. So the nisab is the threshold in order for us to determine whether we are zakat payer or not, whether our assets subject to zakat or not. All right. Here we have 2 category between the fakir or number 2 is miskin. And then beside nisab, we have another term called had kifayah. All right. So the had kifayah is the mechanism in identifying who are going to be the zakat payer or zakat recipients. For example, if the had kifayah let's say 1,000 USD, for example, If our income below 1,000, so we may falls under second category, miskin. All right. That mean instead of paying zakat, so we may be considered as zakat recipients. All right. So from the 1,000 had kifayah that I mentioned earlier, if your income half from the 1,000, that mean in our context here $500 only. So you will fall under the first category called fakir. Okay. So in Bahasa Melayu, perhaps you can come across one idiom called kais pagi makan pagi, kais metang makan petang. So that's we refer to the miskin. However, for the fakir, kais pagi makan petang. All right, they mean the source of income only one time a day, perhaps. Okay, that mean instead of miskin, you have multiple sources of income. However, your income still below the had kifayah. Right, so that's justify between fakir and miskin. Right, we sometimes we confuse between fakir and miskin. Especially we have friends named Fakir. All right, so Muhammad Fakir, is it Muhammad Fakir one of the zakat recipient? All right, it's not necessarily Muhammad Fakir is zakat recipient. Okay, all right, we move further to the next recipients. Amil, zakat collector. All right, zakat collector here refer to the zakat authorities. So in some countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, zakat authorities also appointed individual or corporate bodies to collect zakat on behalf of them. All right, the agent under the zakat authorities will not consider as amil. All right, they will falls under the agent for the zakat authorities. Amil here referring to only zakat authorities. So whatever amount received by the zakat authorities will be distributed accordingly based on the 8 recipients. The number 4 is those whose hearts are softened. This refer to mu'alaf. Right. So in contemporary context, mu'alaf not just refer to those already reverted to Islam. As long as we can, these non-Muslim show some interest and want to know more about Islam, it also can be considered as under this category, mu'alaf. All right. So we can help them to learn more about Islam, although they have yet revert to Islam. That's number 4. So the first 4, as I mentioned earlier, called Muqaddam. All right. So the first, now we move to number 5 and number 6, the freeing captives, slaves. All right. I'm not sure in Indonesia, but in Bahasa Melayu we call hamba. But there's no such slave in the modern community right now. Right, I was told that there one small country in Africa, they still practicing slave, but there's no majority of in the world right now we don't practicing slave. Right, your housemate is not a slave. All right, so the maid, your driver is not considered a slave. All right, so they consider a worker. So definitely they won't falls under this category except for their income is below had kifayah. So they may receiving zakat not because of their position as slave, but perhaps their position as a miskin or fakir. Okay, uh, in the modern context also, since we don't have slave, okay, per se, so some country extend the definition of slave into certain other categories, freeing a prostitute, okay, also could be part of this category, freeing the drug dealers, also can be part of under this category. Right, that's number 5. Number 6, gorimin those in genuine debt. All right, not referring to those to some of us may have difficulties serving our installment monthly payment to banks. All right. So these refer to those in debt for their necessity. All right. For their daruriyah. Okay. So those who have to lend money from other people just to make sure that the family members can eat, the family members can have their shelter, the family members can have their basic clothes, for example. That falls under category number 6. We move further to number 7, in the path of Allah, fi sabilillah. Okay, so if we have direct translation, fi sabilillah, definitely we referring to an army of a Muslim country. But we in a modern concept, we also expand the meaning of fi sabilillah. Right. For example, you need money to ensure that your study in Islamic economic, Islamic finance also part of fi sabilillah. Right, you need money to help other people to make sure that those in need survive, could be part under this category also. And the last one, Ibnu Sabil, a traveler who is prevented from reaching his destination, stranded, for example. I'm traveling to Indonesia now, but somehow or other I've been robbed. Okay, while I reach Indonesia, so I had nothing less left behind. Okay, so in order for me to go back to my own place in Malaysia, I definitely I require some money, right, for my expenses.
You can
So
ask the rest of this group, Dr. Shahizan. They are willing to help.
thank you, thank you. But let's assume that I cannot reach any one of you, even Prof Murniati also. Also, Pak Agus, Helly, and Pak Dr. Endang handphone out of reach. So under this category, I can apply. I can get a zakat assistance from zakat authorities. In this context, I may refer to Basnas if I'm in Indonesia. Right? So all these are the recipients of zakat. So I don't mention about orphanage. I don't mention about old folks here. All right? So uh so if we can have experience looking at or read any of the news, some orphanage, old folks also receiving zakat money, not because of their status of orphanage or old folks, definitely because of they falls under these 8 categories. Okay, okay, all right. Let's move further. Types of zakat. At least we have 2 main types of zakat: zakat al-fitr and zakat al-mal. Most of us already know about zakat al-fitr because zakat fitrah or zakat al-fitr will meet us annually during Ramadan. Okay, especially for the men, we have to pay zakat fitrah before Salat Hari Raya. Okay, subjects to all Muslim regardless age, status, or wealth. So that's why zakat fit. Although we are zakat payers, zakat recipient also, we have to pay zakat fitrah. Okay, so if we are a slave, for example, our master, our employer have to pay zakat on behalf of us. If our age is minor, so our parents have to pay zakat on behalf of us. If we are a wife, for example, the husband need to pay zakat for the wife. Okay, in short, zakat fitrah is for all. Right. So there are some definition also called zakat fitrah as zakat abdan, refer to zakat on body. Right. So regardless, as long as you are Muslim, so we are subject to zakat fitrah. Right. The rate for zakat fitrah, unlike zakat on mal, okay, only one rate, based on 2.5 kg of the staple food. Here, staple food depending on that particular countries. So, the likes of Malaysia, the likes of Indonesia, perhaps Thailand and Singapore, our staple food perhaps is rice. So, the 2.5 kg value of rice will be calculated accordingly in order to determine the zakat rate for that particular year. Okay. All right. We move further to the zakat al-mal. Zakat al-mal refer to zakat on wealth. So I did mention earlier, uh, most of us uh, may not notice the requirement, our obligation to pay zakat on wealth, because our focus more towards zakat fitrah or zakat al-fitr, okay, whereby we should know that actually we obliged to pay zakat on wealth. In our context, referring to financial assets, the like of savings, the likes of investment. Okay, the issue is now, uh, we don't have extra savings. Okay, if we don't have excess, we don't invest if we don't have excess. Zakat imposed to the excesses. All right, that is why we have to observe all savings, all investment, okay, in order for us to make sure that we pay zakat accordingly. However, all right, bear in mind, zakat only subject to halal investment, halal assets. All right, in order for us to pay zakat to be a good Muslim, we have to make sure that all our saving and investment and other assets as well are Shariah compliant, or otherwise that Shariah non-compliant investment will not subject to zakat. Okay, in terms of the payment, it's also annual. We have a term called howl. Okay, that means we as long as complete one cycle of year. So if beyond nisab or takaran yang sudah ditetapkan by the government, by the zakat authorities was in this context, so we have to pay the zakat. So most financial assets subject to 2.5% only zakat, unlike tax. So we have tiered zakat tax rates up to more than 20%, for example. However, zakat fixed at 2.5%, and yet so many of us not paying zakat on wealth. Okay. Why zakat and taxation is very important in financial planning? Because as if we refer back to the component of financial planning, all right. So we have 5 main pillars: wealth generation or wealth creation, wealth protection or wealth preservation. We have wealth accumulation. We have wealth purification, and the last one is wealth distribution. Okay, so zakat and tax falls under the fourth pillar called wealth purification. Okay, in terms of the components, so all the pillars involve different components. We can see for wealth generation or creation, definitely we have cash flow and liability management. And under that, we have cash flow statement and net worth statement. We move further to other pillars up to the pillar number 4, which is wealth purification here. All right. So wealth purification here refer to the zakat and tax planning. So we don't have such zakat planning in our financial planning context. Why? We should not plan our zakat. We should manage our zakat. If we have a lot of investment, then we have to manage our investment in order to make sure that we don't pay less zakat. Okay, unlike taxation, we should plan. So that's why we have tax planning. right? In order for us to ensure that we don't evade tax, but we just avoid more tax. Okay then. Let me okay. So zakat and tax roles in wealth purification. Why we need to purify? It's not as easy that we use holy water and just pour it to the asset. Okay, because purification of wealth is not just like that. It's not as easy as food, for example. All right, we have to slaughter it. All right, then only we can eat for a Muslim. But for wealth purification, we have to differentiate between whether the asset need to be cleansed, all right, in order for us to pay zakat, all right, or we can pay zakat straight away if the asset is Sharia compliant. If the assets, the investment, the saving is not Sharia compliant, we have another mechanism called wealth cleansing. We have cleansing first, all right. So whatever value for cleansing will not consider as zakat. Okay, we have to give everything to the Baitul Mal for to the Majlis Ugama Islam or any of the Islamic authority body in our country. Okay, so it's completing the cycle. Don't talk about we implementing a holistic Islamic financial planning, but we do not pay zakat. We do not pay tax. Okay, so as I said earlier, if we don't pay zakat or tax, it considered a debt, right? So it will diluted or reduce our estate value if we die yesterday, right? So our ahli waris, our beneficiaries will have less estate because of our uh, uh, zakat and tax debt. To fulfill obligation to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and the government. So zakat definitely an obligation as a Muslim to Allah, and taxation is our obligation to the government. So be whether we are supportive to the current government or we are not a supporter to the current government, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter because we as a rakyat, we as the people of that particular country, we have our own obligation to help others. So although zakat from religion's perspective, taxation from the modern administration perspective, but both have one reason: to help other people, right? So zakat for specific recipients, taxation for more than 8 recipients like zakat. We need to detoxifying supplements to promote the elimination of harmful toxins like ourselves. If we need to be healthy, we need to detox. All right, we need to make sure that everything bad in our body to be detoxified. Then only we can live better, isn't it? So, and similarly, from this context, if we from Muslim perspective, we have to maintain only Shariah compliant uh, assets or investment or savings. If we do have beyond Shariah compliance assets, that means we have to make sure that it has been taken out, all right? And whatever asset that we own, although it's Shariah compliant, perhaps it's not belong 100% to us. That is why Islam wants us to ensure that we pay zakat, all right, in order to make sure that everything that owned by us 100% purified, okay, and don't have any toxins, all right, in our asset holdings. So, like I mentioned earlier, giving to charity is a beautiful expression that should come from the income and wealth that we've earned lawfully. So just imagine if we don't have currently the wealth or asset that currently we have mingle around with conventional, mingle around with riba, and how we want to use that kind of assets to help other people, isn't it? So a good Muslim, definitely we want to ensure that not only other people but our family also enjoy assets and wealth that been blessed in Islam, that been Shariah compliant all the time. Okay, so that is why the beauty of zakat and taxation from financial planning perspective, right? So we do accumulate wealth, we do generate wealth, and we protect it. All right. So before we end our life in this world, make sure that everything been purified. Okay. So we can live our current world peacefully, and we don't let our beneficiaries uh, facing difficulties serving the debts that we left behind for them. So with that, I may end my presentation. So I open for any Q&A. So I happy for Prof. Dr. Murniati and Pak Endang also to help in answering the question. Thank you so very much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Shahizan, for your perspective. This is such a reminder to all of us that not only zakat fitrah, we also have obligation to pay what we call zakat mal, Director, ya?
Yep. Yes, Pak. Zakat mal, Pak. It's not zakat mall. Zakat mall
Yes.
berbeza, ya.
And also for those who handle clients, please remember that tax and zakat is part of financial planning. Correct, Dr. Shahizan? Okay. Okay, so is there any question from the audience? Everyone? Please feel free to raise your question because we have a special Madam Annie, Dr. Shahizan, Dr. Endang. Tidak ada? Okay, if there's no question, I would like to share our flyer. Mas Farul, kita punya flyers yang call for member, Islamic Financial Planner Association. Boleh di-share, Mas? Oke.
Alright, sebentar Pak.
Oke, yang di itu. Okay, everyone, Islamic Financial Planner Association calling for member, ya. Jadi siapapun yang pengen join, we are very welcome. If you are Islamic Financial Planner, then we accept from registered Islamic Financial Associate, CIMM, Certified Islamic Money Manager, CFP, plus Shariah, Islamic Financial Planner, and also CSFT, Certified Sakinah Financial Planner, and one more is Associate Wealth Planner Shariah. So if you are one of those, please feel free to join us in Islamic Financial Planner Association. Correct ya, Mari-Mari ya? You will get many benefit if you join with us. Okay, now let's hear takeaways, key takeaways from our esteemed panel. I would like to invite Madam Annie, Dr. Endang, and Dr. Shahizan to briefly
We have
summarize.
actually someone to ask question, Belinda and Fadila.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I was just thinking about my question beforehand. So I would like to ask to Mr. Endang and also to Mr. Shah regarding more on the alignment between zakat and also tax. So I think in the first presentation, it was said that tax incentives to pay zakat are provided by countries with voluntary schemes and those also with the mandatory ones. So there's a system, from my understanding, a deduction of zakat paid from tax that is payable, and which I think this has been implemented in Malaysia as well. But maybe since I would like to hear more on the explanation of this system, both in Malaysia and maybe how it is being how is the process of this implementation as well in Indonesia? Maybe if it's only implemented in the special province of Aceh, or maybe on the national scale, is there a plan, or maybe what is the stance in Indonesia? Thank you very much. This has been a very interesting discussion. Thank you.
So,
Okay,
Dr.
let me
Shahizan, yes.
let me tackle from Malaysia perspective, right? In Malaysia, we have two types of incentive called tax rebate and tax deduction. All right. For tax rebate, apply for individual taxpayer. All right. So whatever zakat we paid, so will be a knockoff straight away against tax payable. For example, if our tax payable is 5,000, if already pay 3,000 of zakat, so the balance it is only 2,000. So the individual taxpayer need to pay only 2,000 after deducting zakat that he paid. That's for individual taxpayer in Malaysia. Tax deduction, I believe, very similar to other countries. But tax deduction in Malaysia only for the corporate or business entities. Okay, so unlike tax rebate for individual, so tax deduction will reduce the what we call that taxable income of that particular in the business entities or corporate taxpayer. For example, if the taxable income is 100,000 USD, so the company able to deduct up to 2.5%. So with the deduction, instead of 100,000 taxable income, we reduce to 90 over 1,000 taxable income. So that's in Malaysia. Okay, so but for both tax rebate and tax deduction only apply for tax resident status payer. If the taxpayer is not residents, will not enjoy any of these incentive. That's from Malaysia perspective.
Okay, I will try to explain the Indonesian perspective. Yeah, for the question is the deduction from the tax. Yeah, if we read the Basnas decision, refer to the government regulation number 16, 2010. So the zakat deducted from the tax is only zakat fitrah. So who pay zakat fitrah will deduct it from the pajak for the tax. Yeah. So with the condition is the payment should be through the Basnas or LAZ. So we can read and the law of zakat Act 22 said zakat yang dibayarkan oleh muzaki kepada Basnas atau LAZ dikurangkan dari penghasilan kena pajak. So this is the law of zakat in Indonesia. So its conclusion is zakat will be deducted from pajak is only zakat fitrah. This Indonesian perspective. So maybe you can correct the professor. May I involve? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear. just now on the both countries' differences. And that is why, Belinda, I think you raised a very vital questions, because in Aceh, as I mentioned early on, that has actually tried to implement Qanun in Aceh that specifies that tax rebate should be actually applied in terms of zakat payment, as what in Malaysia has been doing. But according to the Indonesian government regulation, where during the autonomy given to Aceh and implementations of Qanun, the fiscal policy and monetary policy cannot be fully implemented in Aceh. So that is why temporary, I'm not sure if the government has changed the policy, but so far until today that Aceh cannot actually practice zakah as a tax rebate, only zakah as a tax deductions, as what has been explained by Dr. Endang. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more question? Okay, if there is no questions, let's hear the key takeaways. First from Dr. Endang, and then Dr. Shahizan, and the last one is from Madam Annie, please. Yeah, Pak Dr. Endang.
Yeah, thank you. This is my last we call the apa namanya konklusi ya. So zakat is one mandatory as our Muslim. So zakat also is the important thing to our life, to give to give the help to others. So zakat is also provide our wealth. So the zakat is the important thing to our life. Thank you.
Thank you. Pak Dr. Shahizan, please.
Okay, thank you, Pak Agus. Zakat and taxation is the importance of both are the same. Okay, especially we are Muslim, so as we know that our obligation not only towards our government but definitely towards our religion. So the important part is we have to understand the rules of paying that before our death, right? And zakat and tax is part of it. So if we want to ensure that we can leave behind a good estate for our beneficiaries, do ensure that we fulfill our obligation paying tax and zakat. And before that, in order to pay, to be a good zakat payer, ensure you must ensure that our asset holdings must also Shariah compliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shahizan, and Professor Dr. Madam Annie, closing speech, maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Agus Helly. In terms of Islamic financial planning, zakah and tax have to be considered as a very important elements. First, when we talk about Islamic perspective from the Islamic financial planning, of course, zakah is placed number one before everything. Why? Because according to majority of ulama, that our obligation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to be fulfilled first.
Yeah.
First, although zakat and tax have the same purpose, which is to create prosperous society, just society, closing the gap between the rich and the poor. But in terms of priority, we have to put zakah out of everything else. That is why for our financial planning purposes, once we get proceeds from our business or income from our job or anything that we are entitled for, please don't forget to deduct certain amount of what we have, not what we have actually, what is belong to other people's rights have to be disposed immediately. hakum maklum lisa'ilin wal mahrum. So this is the verse that specifies the rights of the people, even they say it or they do not say it. So it is not belong to our money. So that is why consider zakat is not a part of our belonging, but other people's right that is attached with our wealth. How much is our wealth? Is 100%. Once we have not paid the zakat form, how much is actually we bring home? It is actually 102.1% or 110% or 120%. Why? Because the rights of the people is already been there. You need to expel it. We need to reduce it. We need to dispose it as soon as possible. For tax purposes, of course, when we deal with Islamic financial planning, we can't avoid tax. As a good citizens, we have to fulfill our obligation as citizens to pay out our tax that is actually under our obligation. For instance, on the yearly tax form, for instance, we have to fulfill and then we have to fill up all these assets that we have. And also in terms of strategizing the tax into our financial planning, for instance, we look at different types of investment. Which one is actually imposing higher tax? Let's say deposits. For deposit in Indonesia, we have to pay 20% on interest rate or profit margin final. But for sukuk or Islamic bond, Indonesia is not only giving tax incentive, which is only 15% on final of the ijarah fee or mudarabah fee, but also for sukuk, they give the government gives higher incentives in terms of return, which is 6%. And for deposits, only 3%. Even now, because of the lower interest rate regime, so it could be lower than 3%. Again, when you deal with these two investment types, it means we need to make decisions. A good financial planner, which is not necessarily you come to us, we have to be a good financial planner for yourself, even for ourselves. We are actually all the financial planners. But of course, because IFPA actually promoting the association to encourage you to be a professional financial planner by getting appropriate certifications. You can find some other like logos on your virtual background that shows that the members of the IFPA offers certain types of financial planners that you may be actually interested to join. So that's all from my side. Thank you so very much, Mr. Agus Helly, Dr. Shahizan, Dr. Endang Jamali. They're all gurus of the Islamic financial planning, and you will, you have a free time, of course, anytime with them. If you would like to have consultations, questions on how to become a good financial planner like themselves, you are most welcome. They are available in social media. I can see Dr. Sah is very, often sending good messages on the Facebook. In fact, he has just come out with his new book, latest book. Perhaps, Dr. Sah can show us your latest book and then tell us a little bit about your latest book. And also Dr. Agus Helly is a doctor himself in Bali. So you can always meet him.
Thank you, Madam.
Very friendly. He's with Lintar. And then, he's been very active in the social media. You can see him in his Instagram. And Dr. Endang, this one, I'm not sure whether he's available on social media or not. But he's available in Bandung. You can always meet him in UIN Sunan Gunung Djati and also in Surya Kencana University in Cianjur. He is very helpful, and mashallah, every one of you, we have also financial planners over here. We can meet, announce some of them, like Ustad Awaluddin Razab, CFP. We also have Mr. Fajar Adrian Shah, CFP. And we have Mahaning Riana, IFP. So you can, always meet them anytime. And that's all from me. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Madam Ani. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the session. On behalf of IFPA, I want to thank you to our esteemed speaker.
Brother Agus, I would like Dr. Shah to show a little bit on his book.
Oh, okay, sure.
Actually, I have yet to receive my copies, madam. So quick sharing. This is my third book. All right. But the first time published outside Malaysia. So I'm expecting the future. I have few books with Indonesian colleagues here, the likes of Ibu Murniati, Pak Agus, as well Pak Endang, inshallah. Okay. So we discuss about financial planning beyond Malaysia concept. Right, we are more towards Brunei, since Brunei is a very special country, I would say, because they don't have tax for the people, right? They don't have tax at all. I remember when I teach them IFP last 10 years, for example. All right, so when we talk about tax, so all participants seems like the tax is quite alien to them. The only tax they have is airport tax. All right, airport tax. Okay, and also, since we discussed about zakat, one of the recipient of zakat is Gorimin, those in debt, isn't it? Okay, since they have a lot of zakat monies there, those people in Brunei, they have difficulty serving banks, paying their first car in Brunei. They can also get zakat assistance. In Brunei only lah. I don't see the similar incidences happen in Malaysia and other country like Indonesia lah. Yeah, so that's Brunei. So yes, that's from one angle. So but although Brunei is not at par with Indonesia in terms of financial planning practitioners, the framework, okay, but they're moving towards that. So I believe that since the certification also the same IFP, right? So the fatwa using the IFP module can be treated as good benchmark in Brunei lah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shahizan. So I would like to get the book as well.
Inshallah.
Okay, everyone. Once more, thank you so much for joining the event. On behalf of IFPA, I would like to thank you to Dr. Endang, Dr. Shahizan, and of course, Professor Madam Ani, to make the discussion is very productive today. Yeah. So let's continue our journey to align tax and zakat in our financial planning. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Thank you, Dr. Endang. Thank you, Pak Agus.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Madam Ani.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Mbak Haning, Mbak Teh Ustazah Rida.